Welcome back to the Runner Soul. This is the place where running meets science stride by stride. And as ever, I am Sharon, your resident podiatrist, and I'm also a runner and, you guessed it, a foot nerd. Today's topic is a very interesting one for you runners out there. And today it's all about talking about something that quietly affects every single step you take. Have you guessed? Pronation. Now, you've probably heard the term thrown around in running stores or shoe ads. You might hear overpronation, underpronation, neutral. But what does it all actually mean? And more importantly, does it really matter for your running? Is it really going to affect you? Well, let's get into it and see. So, what is pronation? At its core, pronation is just the natural inward roll of your foot as it hits the ground. So when you run or walk, your foot doesn't land flat and rigid. It rolls slightly inward to absorb the shock. And that's to protect your body and protect your joints. Now, this movement is very normal and very necessary. Think of it as your body's built-in suspension system. Now, there are generally three types of pronation. Now, we have neutral pronation. So that's when the foot rolls inward just enough to distribute impact efficiently. So that's good. Then we have overpronation, and that's when the foot rolls inwards way too much. And that's when you're going to get all your ankle twists, etc. Then we have underpronation, which is also called supination. Now, that's the kind of foot that doesn't roll inward enough. And that tends to be a very rigid foot. Now, none of these are inherently bad, but they can influence how forces travel through your body. Why on earth does pronation matter? Well, every time your foot hits the ground, forces travel up through your ankles, your knees, and your hips. The way your foot rolls determines how those forces are distributed. So if you overpronate, it means your arch collapses more than usual. And then that can put extra stress on your ankles and your knees because you get that tibial torsion going on. If you underpronate, then your foot stays more rigid. So that means less shock absorption and more impact gets transferred upwards through the chain, often affecting your shins, your joints, your knees, etc. But here's the important part. Pronation itself doesn't automatically cause the injuries. Instead, it's about how your body handles those movement patterns over time. So now let's talk about common myths. I always say myths, it's like a ghost story, isn't it? It gets handed down, and because it's handed down so much, it becomes almost like it's true. But let's clear up a big misconception. For years, runners were told they needed to fix their pronation with specific shoes or orthotics. Now, while that can help in some cases, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Because over the years, and that's been 20 years that I've been a podiatrist, I have to keep up to date with all the latest research. And now the research now suggests that many runners with so-called imperfect pronation never get injured. It's like the people you know who smoke for the rest of their life and they never get anything. And I guess our bodies are a bit like that as well. So comfort and individual biomechanics matter more than forcing a perfect foot motion. So if somebody tells you that overpronation is automatically a problem, take that with a grain of salt. For example, it used to be if you wanted to join the army, they wouldn't accept you if you had flat feet. Now, I know perfectly well that you can have a flat foot and be asymptomatic for the rest of your life. So it does not mean just because you've got a flat foot that you're automatically going to have problems. No, no, no. But we are here to educate you and here for you to engage with us so we can get you into the best shape and work with your body and your muscles to make you the best that you can be. I know you're all out there asking yourself the question and waiting on me to answer. How does this all affect your running form? Well, pronation influences your running in a few key ways. First of all, stability. We need stability, but too much inward roll can make your stride feel unstable and just a little bit wobbly. And then we need shock absorption. Now, too little pronation can make your stride feel very harsh, as if you're getting a lot of impact and you just hear boom, 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 boom. And of course, we need efficiency. Your body adapts to your natural mechanics, so forcing changes can sometimes backfire because your body it's pretty amazing, really. Because your body will always compensate for any little anomalies that's going on. So your body is actually pretty good at finding its own rhythm until fatigue, weakness, or overtraining start to interfere. So what if your feet do overpronate? Is it something you should change? Well, that's the big question. Should you try to fix your pronation or should you leave it alone? Well, the answer is only fix it if it's causing problems. So if you're running pain-free, your current mechanics are probably working just fine. But if you're dealing with reoccurring issues like knee pain, shin splints, foot discomfort, it might be worth looking at strengthening your feet and ankles. And this is important whether or not you're overpronating, underpronating, or whether your foot is neutral. Improving your hip and leg stability. Again, this is very important regardless. And checking your running shoes for proper support and comfort. Because sometimes it's just the small adjustments, like cadence or stride length, can make a bigger difference than trying to control foot motion directly. So don't believe that if you pronate or you overpronate that you have to have orthotics. You don't. Sometimes it can be amended just by wearing more supportive shoes. On the subject of choosing the right shoes, you've probably seen shoes labeled as stability, neutral, or motion control. These categories are often linked to pronation types, but the best approach is so much simpler. Pick a shoe that feels the most comfortable when you run. Now, comfort is one of the strongest predictors of injury prevention. If a shoe feels natural and supportive for you, then that's a very good sign. If you put them on, you feel wobbly, you don't feel you're stable, then that's not a good sign. So, in summary, here's the takeaway from today's episode. Pronation isn't something to fear. It's a natural part of how your body moves. So instead of trying to force your feet into a perfect pattern, focus on building strength, staying consistent, and listening to your body. Because at the end of the day, the best running form is the one that keeps you moving pain-free. Thank you for striding through this episode with me. And if you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a comment or share it. And let me know where you're listening from. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprouts, and pretty much everywhere you can think of. It genuinely helps more runners discover our podcast. And if you want to be part of the community that shares stories, tips, and supports each other along the way, come join us over on Facebook at the Runner Soul family. If you've got questions about your foot health, about your running, or anything and everything in between, I am always happy to help. And for that reason, I offer online foot consultations. So no matter where you are in the world, we can get your concerns properly sorted. You'll find all the links in the show notes. And before you go, just please remember, your feet aren't just along for the ride. They are the foundation of every step you take and everything you do. So please do take care of them, and they will take care of you. So until next time, keep on running smart.